What's up everyone? We're here to talk about how to leg day series. And this one is probably one of my favorites. I'm gonna say squat is the favorite exercise of mine, but leg extensions here is a very, very close second. They build that absolute mass that everyone's looking for in your lower body, that really shapely and monster quads. These are what help build them, and they're one of my favorites for an absolute reason. They freaking work for building some serious size. So let's look at how to do a proper leg extension. Now, bear in mind, a lot of machines are gonna be very different. So your machine might not look like this. It might be a little bit different variation, but the principles are almost always the same. As you can see, the back of my knee is resting on the lip of the machine, which allows you to get a complete flexion and extension on this exercise. You don't really want to let that weight go all the way down and touch. You want it to come almost all the way down, but not set against that machine. You want that time under tension. That's what you're probably gonna hear a lot between bodybuilding. You want your muscles always activated, and when you set it down, it deactivates them. Obviously, it takes that strain off, and you have to pick it up from a complete neutral spot. You wanna stop just before it and just keep that weight constantly moving. You wanna get a good extension, but as you've probably heard in a lot of different videos, you don't want to completely just snap that joint into place. You want to soft lock it. I say anywhere between like 170 to 175 degrees, just about bringing it to a complete extension, but without. Believe me, that will take a lot of pressure off your knee. And if anyone says you're not doing a full extension, you're like 5 degrees off a full. If they're really that concerned about your lift, then they're just going to be a hater anyways. But what you can see is that you get a full flexion, a good extension, drawing that pump really high, like really high into those quadriceps. The only consideration with this one is that you're keeping your butt square against the backrest, and your back is actually leaning against this. This machine has a little bit of a gap, which allows you to put your hands behind and hold yourself down, which I think is really good. The hand ones, I don't like those because you have a tendency to squeeze down when you're trying to get that last rep in, and the more you're squeezing down and bringing yourself into it, you have a lot more likelihood to not only hurt your back, your neck because you're straining down, but also you're bringing that weight up a lot more faster than you would be normally, and the risk for hurting your knees is definitely that much more apparent. So besides that, keeping a good even width on the actual platform you put your leg under is another consideration. Other than that, the feet position is the only other one that's gonna be a serious variable, and that's whether or not you point your toes or you curl your toes. Either way, you're gonna draw that pump into a different area. Now, if you keep your feet straight, that's gonna cause the tension to go really high into your hips. Now, with that, you get a really good pump up, but when you curl, you bring that tension to the front of your quadriceps, getting a really good squeeze onto what everyone calls the teardrop, or that aspect of your quad on towards the front by your knee. That's gonna get a really solid pump right there, giving you that overall fatigue and that overall size. That's what you're looking for, is strengthening that entire quadricep front to back. That's gonna build that overall shape, and of course that uniform strength that you definitely want. You don't wanna be weak in any area of that muscle. So those are the considerations of leg extensions. Make sure you try these out. There's a bunch of different machines. I always warm up with these now, before squats, before deadlifts, anything that gets that knee constantly warm. It gets those huge, your quads are a huge muscle group. To have those even minutely activated and warmed up before you start putting some serious weight on that squat, it'll make a serious difference. Essentially, what that does is it takes a lot of the pressure off your knee, and it gets a good pump throughout your legs, which only helps those further on lifts and making that leg day a lot more effective. Obviously, if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to hit them up in the section below. I love hearing you guys' feedback. Your guys' responses are always welcome. That support is always greatly appreciated. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, be part of this Fitness 253 community, but most importantly, take it easy.